How do I know that I need times of stillness? What are some signals or signs in my life that could be letting me know that maybe I've been neglecting quietness and it would be a good opportunity for me to start practicing stillness? Well, one, and this is fun for me, crazy dreams, crazy dreams. Now, the dream probably would carry or possibly would carry an intense emotion like over the top. Maybe in real life you are feeling frustrated, but in the dream you're so frustrated that you are breaking things and you're doing erratic behavior. So crazy dreams, or even just confusing dreams. Maybe you woke up and you felt intense emotion, or maybe you woke up and you just felt confused. Like, what in the world was that? What is going on? These could be signs for us that there are things that we're not processing. So God designed us to dream at night and help us to process some of those things. So that could be our self trying to process things that we're not taking time to process in waking life. Another way we can know that we need times of stillness is tension in our body. I got a neck ache, a backache, a knee ache, a shoulder ache. Usually when we're carrying stress and strain in those things, they're carried in our forehead, carried in our neck, across our shoulders, in our back, in different places for different people. But we carry that tension in our body. We may need time of stillness and silence. Headaches, unexplained illnesses, just general poor feelings or feeling poorly. Overreacting and not knowing why. Sometimes we can be in a situation and someone will say something that catches us off guard, and we find that we reacted stronger than we really needed to at the moment, and we didn't realize it until later. But maybe if I'm continually overreacting and I can't really put my finger on why, I may need to engage in some times of silence and some times of stillness and rest. Also, feeling lost, just a general feeling of being lost in the world, or not having a place, or not having a direct path. That could be a sign that we need to engage in stillness and in silence. So how do we practice rest? How do we practice stillness? Well, first of all, I would say start small. Start small. And by, you know where you are and you know what you're comfortable with, but it could be something as simple as leaving your phone when you go to use the bathroom and actually taking that time to just breathe and focus on silence, focus on rest and relaxation, and giving yourself that moment of quiet, even if it feels like it's unproductive. That is a way to start practicing stillness. Maybe that's not a big deal for you. You already do that. Well, something that we could do is start to schedule a daily time of stillness, a weekly time of stillness, a monthly, quarterly, yearly, and the older we get, maybe by the decade, we take a whole month to focus on stillness and rest, but we'll bring it on back to the daily side of things. I'm just going to lay here in silence with no active talking and no active motion for just 1 minute. And as we do that and we kind of strengthen that stillness muscle, then we can increase that time as we go along. Now, you can apply that into whatever part of the day you want to, but the point is start small as you need to, and schedule it. And another thing is to get physically comfortable. Think relaxation. You don't have to be in some uncomfortable position and feel as though you're torturing yourself to be able to experience the benefit of being still and being silent. Let thoughts pass. So that goes back to why we avoid silence in the first place, because sometimes thoughts start to bombard us, things that cause our emotions to stir up and memories to come. I think for a lot of people, that's kind of the main reason why we would avoid silence and stillness, is because of the emotional and mental unrest and turmoil that start to come to the surface. And with nothing there to silence them, like the television, like the cell phone, like another person's conversation, with nothing there to silence them, they just kind of come up and they can feel like they're overwhelming us. Well, there's good news. It won't be that way always. And this process of practicing stillness and silence will actually bring us to the place where that is no longer happening on such an overwhelming level on a regular basis. But it takes eating the stillness, letting it in, digesting it, feeling the discomfort, feeling even the pain of those thoughts and those feelings and allowing yourself to work through them rather than run away and avoid them. But don't try to do it all at once. Maybe 10 seconds is all you can handle for now. It's a start. Then you can do 30 seconds, then a minute, then 5 minutes. We build that muscle, but the rewards are well worth it. So when those thoughts come, let them pass. Don't judge them. Don't even tell yourself, hey, you shouldn't be thinking about this. That's not a good thought. You shouldn't have that. Guess what? Just see it and let it pass by. And there are a lot of strategies that are provided. You can find a lot of different ways to process thoughts or even to just not pay attention to those intruding thoughts that are coming, but one of them is called leaves on a stream. So when you have that thought come, just see yourself sitting in front of a stream and that thought becomes a leaf and the stream is slowly taking that leaf away or that thought away and carrying it on down the stream. And you're just like a bystander watching it go by. Another one that I like to think of is releasing balloons. So when a thought comes, and maybe we didn't want that thought to be there, so we observe it. It came, and all of a sudden I'm picturing that thought as a helium balloon in my hand and I'm holding the string. Well, I see it, but I don't want to hold on to it. I'm not mad about it, but I'm just going to let it go, and I'm going to let that thought rise up and go off into the atmosphere. Now, if you've not done that before, that probably sounds pretty silly, but if you have had a challenge with your thoughts and with thoughts that trouble you and thoughts that intrude that you did not ask to come in, but they're there anyway, it's worth a try. It is worth a try. It will help, especially when you're building this stillness muscle and coming to a place where you can handle longer periods of stillness and quietness. Don't judge those thoughts. They're going to come. Don't be mad at them. Your brain is doing what it's supposed to do. It's okay. Just watch it go by. Just watch it go by and keep on resting. Keep on being still. Pay attention to your body. Notice where there is tension. And when you feel that tension, something I like to do is if I feel, this is what I do a lot of time, if I feel that my shoulders are tight, what I'll do is I'll over exaggerate that tightness and then drop it all of a sudden. And it kind of puts them at a place of rest. So maybe you feel some tension in your neck or your shoulder or your back or your arm. You realize that you're holding your arm tight while you're resting. Then you can address that and say, oh, wait, yeah, I've got some tension there. Tighten it up and then just let it go. And you'll have to do that repeatedly, but it'll get easier over time. Also, there's no need to close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes to experience stillness and rest. That can be a hurdle for some of us because we may not be comfortable just sitting there with our eyes closed, because then we get into images that are coming in, and we can talk about that at another time. But you don't have to have your eyes closed. You can just be resting and be at peace. Maybe you're focused on a tree that's outside the window. Maybe there's some squirrels running by and you're just kind of watching and enjoying them. You don't have to be still like a mummy or a corpse in order to be in a place of stillness and experience that benefit. So you don't have to close your eyes. You can find a focal point on something that's peaceful or something that's keeping you calm at that time. Don't make stillness a punishment. This is one thing. If we do something and engage in it in a way to where it feels like punishment, we will do everything within our power to avoid it. We will make every excuse to not go back to that place. So don't make stillness a punishment. I think that would be my number one tip there. You will avoid it even more if it feels like punishment to you. That's why I said start small. If 10 seconds is all you can do 10 seconds, but keep it something that is a place of enjoyment and something that's bringing you some kind of benefit so that you'll want to return to that place and increase your ability to stay there. But don't let it be a punishment because it's not. Keep it pleasant. Keep it pleasant. Start with a few intentional breaths. When you find your place, for me, it might be this chair. It might be a place on the couch, maybe even laying in my bed. But I'm going to get real cozy and I'm just going to take a few breaths. And depending on what kind of day I had, those breaths might be a little more aggressive than others, but just take a few intentional breaths. There's a lot of breath work you can look up where there's a lot of counting involved, but to me, I kind of find that makes it a little more stressful. Then I feel like I'm hyperventilating. So you don't have to make it all regimented with rules and counting and everything. Just breathe as you feel like your body needs to breathe. If you feel like you need to have some big exhales, go ahead and do that. If you feel like you need to breathe in and hold it for a minute, do that as well. But do start with some intentional breaths. Use even the time that you set aside for prayer and devotion, maybe active prayer like we were talking about before, where you're actually talking or you're reading or you're worshiping or you're doing some kind of activity. You can even take that time to use for a time of silent prayer, because that is a form of prayer. This is a key as well. We can present those bad or negative thoughts to Jesus for redemption. You don't have to suppress or stuff those thoughts or those feelings, or even throw scriptures at them. We love the Word of God. It's powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword. We love and we value His Word. Sometimes we can get into a religious habit of stuffing, but we don't call it stuffing because what we're doing is using scriptures to stuff. But either way, it's still stuffing. Sometime that stuff needs to come up. And I'm telling you, Jesus is not intimidated by our thoughts. He is not intimidated by our feelings, no matter how negative, no matter how far off the wall or whatever they might be to us. He is not intimidated. He already knows. Present them. Picture yourself holding your hands out, holding that thought, holding that image that you're wishing would go away and is intruding upon your time of stillness. Hold it in your hands and say, Jesus, I don't want this. Here you go. You take it. And He will take it. And you can even picture Him taking it far away from you. And then guess what? It'll come up again and you'll do it again. And it'll come up again and you'll do it again. Don't get discouraged. But the more you do it, the more power it loses over you. And the easier it is to just watch it go by next time. No need to stuff it. No need to suppress it. Just let it come up and hand it over. See, that's part of the benefit of this time of stillness and silence, is for those things to surface. That's kind of the point. Now we want to get to the point where there aren't so many of those things surfacing, and we can kind of move on to a place of creativity and growth and even exploration with God. But in the beginning, it probably will be a lot of time of taking those thoughts, presenting them to Jesus, allowing those feelings to surface, allowing those things to come up, and just asking God what He wants to say about those things. So don't be discouraged by that. That's part of the process. Now, I would say to have a notebook and a pen nearby. Not that you want to be actively doing things, but once you get past that hurdle, once you get past that perimeter, you will see that you are in a place of divine flow and creativity. And when you get there, you will have thoughts, you will have ideas, you will have solutions, you'll even have inventions, business ideas. You will have solutions to problems that have been long standing that will start to flow to you. And I guarantee you will want to have something to write those things down. So I would suggest have a notebook and a pen, and also some Kleenex or something to wipe your face, because you might have some tears along the way and you don't necessarily want to be distracted by going and find something to clean your face with. So if you have those things on hand, that can be helpful. Just a few scriptures. I always like to try to include a few scriptures here. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. So there's something to being still that allows us to get in a place where we are able to acknowledge that He is God. Embrace it. Make it a pattern. Make it a part of your day. And just try it out. See if those moments of silence don't bring you more regulation, don't bring you more calmness and more peace and more clarity in your thoughts, and more of a response to situations instead of a reaction. Thank you so much for joining me today. God bless you, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.